open season.
What's going on, guys? It's D-Ben. I hope you have a blessed day today. And if you enjoy having open conversation to your favorite season, please make sure to subscribe. That being said, let's go. If you've been following NFL draft projections, especially as of late, you would have noticed that CJ Stroud has perhaps been falling on many draft boards. Now, this is very interesting as about a month ago, CJ was projected to be a number 1 overall pick, or at least he was battling it out with Bryce Young, though suddenly one reporter can potentially see him going outside of the top 7. Wait, what? Has CJ been playing football lately? Did he return to Ohio State to play spring ball and was throwing it inconsistently? Nope. So what has happened exactly? Well, according to an NFL exec, Stroud has performed poorly on his S2 cognitive test. This test basically consists of measuring how well players process information and make split-second decisions. Anthony Richardson, a projected first rounder, described the test as such. They want to see how fast you can recall things and notice certain things. On one of the questions, you have to look at 6 balls that they highlighted and move all over the screen. You have to pick out of the balls and highlight them. I'm like, how can I focus on 6 balls at once? Following this, the exec went on to say this about Stroud's performance on the cognitive test. Stroud scored 18. That is like red alert, red alert. You can't take a guy like that. That is why I have Stroud as a bust. That in conjunction with the fact, name one Ohio State quarterback that's ever done in the league. I could ask him the same thing. Name me one successful Alabama quarterback who's ever done in the league besides Jalen Hurts. Although he did spend his last year at Oklahoma, nonetheless, most of his time was spent at Alabama. You can say Mac Jones, verdict is still out for him. Tua Tagovailoa, the verdict is still out for him. You can even throw in AJ McCarron, a very successful collegiate quarterback, 3-time BCS champion. But he wasn't able to produce that same level of success in the NFL, although he is producing it in the XFL, leading in multiple statistic categories, passer rating, completion, and touchdown passes. See, not that many successful quarterbacks in the Nick Saban era. Obviously, you can go way back in the 50s and 60s and find Joe Namath and Bart Starr, but I'm obviously talking about in the Nick Saban era. That's why this year's projected number 1 overall pick, Bryce Young, can change that conception, as can CJ Stroud for Ohio State. Going back to the test scores, I could care less what CJ scored on the test. How well did he process information in college? How was his decision making? That's what actually matters, the eye test. Check out his scouting report. Stroud is a sturdy and cerebral pocket passer. He reads the field and leads his team with superior intangibles. His arms and athleticism don't wow as an individual elements, but he is very accurate and adept at sidestepping pressure to deliver downfield. Most importantly, as a starter, he helped the Buckeyes to 21 wins in 25 starts. And how about that performance against the eventual champs, the Georgia Bulldogs? 6 TDs, no interception, while also making plays with his legs? Come on, and this exec has the audacity to say that he'll be a bust because of his test scores? Ridiculous. Anyways, Ryan Day, his head coach at Ohio State, was surprised by the attention placed on this news. I'm just very surprised that this has become a topic of conversation. Of all things, I just feel like this is one that I've always felt was what makes him special. For this to be something that's a topic of conversation right now is catching me off guard. In other words, he's saying, didn't you guys watch the tape? Why aren't y'all measuring him for what he's actually done? This shouldn't even be a question. I've seen the tape. CJ is extremely accurate, especially when left in the pocket. He can make any throws. Also, I saw him go through his progression, his anticipatory skills, throwing guys open. That's why I'm not buying into this cognitive test being the deal breaker, being the reason why he should fall in the draft. All that you need to know is what he's actually doing on the field, and I saw him doing it very well. Though he can improve on his playmaking, which I know he will. We've seen it a bit against Georgia, so I don't see why he doesn't get better at it. That being said, the man has the right attitude. He believes he's been the best player. Here's what he said during the combine. Everybody kind of highlights that game, the playoff game against Georgia. But for me, I think you can put on my film. I think I've been the best player in college football 2 years in a row. And I think I've consistently done that. And I think, honestly, I think I haven't even touched my potential yet. I think I have a lot more to get better at. But I have a lot more, not only to prove, not only to y'all, but to myself. I particularly appreciate the last part in his statement. I have a lot more to prove to myself. I'll leave it at that.